So this is going to be the one where we air out all of the worries and then talk about, it's like, well, this is what we think. And, well, we're big wait and see people. Well, I'm a big wait and see person.
Hmm.
So let's get started. This is episode 375, the one where we address, or at least look at the elephants in the room and just measure them out and go, yep, those are elephants, all right. So let's do this, DJ.
Hi, this is not Thursday.
Yeah, because if we'd done this episode on Thursday, the Thursday episode would have just been. So yeah, there's a big stream tomorrow, and there'll be a lot of news. And guess what? There was a lot of news. It was a lot to take in. So let us begin. So the first thing to note, uh, so Granblue Fantasy has gone through 2 changes of producer and 0 changes of director in its 10 plus years. So, our boy Kimura Yuito, aka KMR, he has been the producer of the game twice. Um, he was the producer to begin because he was also the producer for Rage of Bahamut, and then now he gave way to HRT Haruta, and then I
And
mean
we went back.
we went back for many reasons. KMR came back, and the people who played during the Haruta era give a lot of credit to KMR for changing the direction of the game, because there was definitely 2016 was a time, you know, it was definitely a year, and uh, I mean, according to him, after 3 years of essentially training his replacement as producer, because he admits that he's stretched way too thin, given how big Granblue Fantasy has become as a multimedia franchise with 2 console games, whatever the events that he has to oversee and appear at, etc., etc. Um, and so it's like he said it's basically time for him to move on so he can. Well, he's not moving on from Cygames. He'll still, for now, be the producer of Princess Connect. He's still the producer of Shadowverse.
Which
Um,
is working on his second game right now.
which is working on its second game, which also got delayed. That's
Yep.
something that is important. Like the Cygames delays are definitely something that they're becoming known for. But also, people have learned to trust them. That when the game is delayed, then the game that actually does come out will be of a sufficient quality to match their standards. But being producer of 4 games at the same time is really hard. Like being producer of one game is really hard. But between Shadowverse Evolve, Shadowverse 2, Princess Connect Redive, yeah, he's got
He
a lot
also
of his.
he also helped a bit on Uma, if I remember correctly.
He's on like the board or something like that. So yeah, like this I think is a very well deserved like step away and reduction in his responsibilities, because we looked at his schedule once, and good lord, he sleeps
That
like.
schedule does not compute.
Yeah, it's like how, especially, given that he goes out on various weekends and does events, like he would appear at Shadowverse tournaments, at Granblue Fest, at Granblue Extra Fest, um, Princess Connect Fest. He would show up for other people's events. So yeah, um, I am I am hopeful that him walking off into the sunset for only GBF is a positive change, especially since he said, like I said, that the person he has been training for as his replacement has been doing this pretty much quietly, with KMR basically providing advice for 3 years. So this has been planned for a long time. That said, um, so creative director Fukuhara is starting to step away from his public role So he'll be doing less of like the constant announcements and traveling and stuff like that. And
Granted,
he'll let
he was
oh,
doing a lot. Like
yeah,
last year, he was at Evo, which was during the same time as the stream.
yeah. And this year he traveled from Evo to what would have been the stream if he didn't catch COVID. So, yeah. Um, he's overseeing also 3 games. Whether or not Relink is an active game is a matter of Cygame's internal. We don't know what's going on with the Relink team right now. We'll figure it out at some point. They'll tell us. Um, and so what they're saying is going to happen is that there will be more contact with the people who are the directors of each game. So Kaji, the director of Relink. I don't know who the director of like Versus Rising is. I know who the battle planner is, but and I know who the creative director is, but I don't know who like the uh, Arc System Works side, reports to. So I'll have to look that up after this. But it's change, and change is scary, right?
It's always scary.
Um, and so the big elephant in the room is that one of KMR's last public appearances as Granblue Fantasy's producer, he dropped a big change in how things work and will work from now on. So the usual um, the usual collab announcement that they do at these live streams, it happened. In November, we're going to have a collab between Granblue Fantasy and That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. Do you watch
I
that
was
series, by the
joking.
way?
I was joking in a different chat, going, "Yes, we did it. We're no longer Shonen Jump only."
That's true. We who publishes that one?
Well, A, it's a light novel, so it
Yeah,
can't be Shonen Jump, and
right,
B, the manga who is not also Shonen Jump. So,
right.
I
Uh,
haven't gone through it yet.
mhm.
I know our friend Chris likes it.
True. And he's pretty picky when it comes to things like that. So, okay, so it's a Naro thing, so it's published online. So the physical ones are different. It looks like it looks like one of those things where multiple people have their hands in the publishing. Like the manga spin-off is done by Kodansha. The TV animation is through like a different thing. But anyway, like the novel is currently serialized in a place called Micro Magazine. So yeah, lots of different places, but definitely not Shonen Jump and the monolith that that represents. And that's cool. It's popular. The third season is airing right now. Um, but then the big change is that all right. So we go to characters, we go to tie-in, right? And I'm just gonna turn off SSR because as our first SSR collab character was Touken Ranbu, which feels like ages ago now, right?
It's been a bit. Wait, it was not CCS.
I believe. Let me go take a look at age. Yeah, Sakura came after Mikazuki, I believe. Let me make sure.
Oh yeah, because this is one of the times that we had still
Yes.
SRs.
Yeah, the SSR was GG over here because the Touken Ranbu side said it would be weird if he wasn't an SSR because he was Touken Ranbu's first SSR. Like
Uh, yeah, and this character existed.
yeah. Even back then, we were like, okay, that existed. The first one that really made a splash was Levi because, or sorry, Levy, because we thought that Reason Yagd would just give him Assassin instead of just an actual regular boost to attack. It's like, oh, okay. Also, Levy is great because he still has the lowest defense value in the game, so it's fun to let him
It's
get
like
hit.
minus 70%.
Yeah. But
But
anyway,
he has a dodge. All right though. So
yeah. But there's one thing that let's see. I believe I have every single collab character, and there's 88 of them. No, I was oh, no, I'm not missing one because I was able to get the Side M guy years later.
Yeah, that's the side stories, anyways.
Yeah. But there's one thing that every single one of these characters has in common, which is that for the cost of logging in to play the event and then playing the event to its ending, uh, with a little asterisk for the ones that you had to log into a different game to get. I'm looking at Milla Maxwell over here is one of
Maxwell,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, you had to log into one of the Tales games. Um,
Astaire, yeah.
yeah, but every single one of them was free, and we what we're doing with Ten Slime in November. Well, we being Granblue Fantasy. Uh,
We are not
I
Granblue Fantasy.
no,
We are not endorsed by Granblue Fantasy.
yeah, we are not affiliated with Granblue Fantasy. We just talk about it. What we're getting is so there will be two free characters. One of them is going to be Rimuru, and we'll have the 5-star uncap. So that'll be the standard style.
Yeah, that one makes sense.
There will be a summon. And then what'll happen is in the middle of November, they will not have the normal Flash Gala. They will not have a character release for Granblue Fantasy in the middle of November. They will be put into the gacha pool for a limited time, which is a standard practice in other gacha games, but it has never happened in Granblue Fantasy before. And so the words collab gacha got trending on Japanese Twitter because of so many people were talking about this. Base,
In relation to GBF specifically.
yeah, which it's one of those things. We're in year 10, people got used to something, and um, well, it's changing. Change is scary. And this particular change, where a tie-in character will be available for premium currency rather than just time and, in-game trade-ins, will be in there. And the words for a limited time also get people's hackles up. And so, like, this is where I have to talk to other people who have experience in other games, because the way that those other games handle this and the various like pitfalls and things that this style of thing runs into is it's uncharted territory for me, right? I don't play Puzzles and Dragons. I didn't have to go for Superman or Shauna or whatever, right? Um, Princess Connect did put some of like Princess Connect put what is it? A
There
few
was
of them.
ReZero and CG, and there was rerun once ever.
Yeah, so Princess Connect is what? Is it Mio who was in the premium pool? I forget which one of
Mio
them it
was the
was.
free one, if I remember
Mio was the
correctly.
free one, okay. Because the Princess Connect standard was one is free, um,
Yeah,
one is like a limited,
ReZero was RAM.
yeah, and then I think Rem and Amelia were both
They're
in the premium pool.
they're two were premium pool.
Yeah, and between those 6 units, you said that there's been one rerun of both of them total, or one of each.
One of each.
Okay, so that's
This is why
that's
they're also not counted in the statistics of like characters that are 5-starred and whatever,
mhm.
because some people literally can't get those characters.
Okay. And so that's scary thing number one. So we referred back to the Haruta era and 2016 being a year because people may not remember this, but 8 years ago,
Oh, are we talking about the
Haruta,
limited gotcha?
yeah, so one of the things that got people real mad about Korwa, like she was a character who was ahead of her time in multiple bad ways. So Korwa right here, she was originally going to be limited. And not like limited as in grand, but limited as in she will release it's, the month of what, April or something like that she released, April or May or something, and she won't come back. Like that was how they packaged it. She was one, Ire was another. I believe there was supposed to be a third, but it may not have happened because player feedback was just so negative that they stopped. That was an
Pretty sure it's
experiment that just
Halasena.
stopped. Was it Halle? Oh, yeah. And that didn't work for them. That is something they've never gone back to. But with the existence of collab characters in the premium draw, that's changing somehow. In some way or another, that is going to have to change. And they haven't said how they're going to do it, and that scares people because there's been a lot of bad ways that this has been implemented in like not in the player favor, and we don't know anything besides what they said. And what they said was they did this in order to fit more characters because normally we get 2 or 3, and now we're getting 4 characters, and so they're sort of doing that. Um, and then you're a Genshin player, and Alloy, the character from
That character sucks
Horizon Zero
in
Dawn,
Genshin, and B, that's never been reran, so you literally can't get that character ever, anyways.
was she also PlayStation exclusive? Like you had to be playing the game
No,
on PlayStation to get her? No? Okay.
she was earlier for PlayStation for correctly, but
Okay.
you can get her in both.
And so that's also, a scary way that they've done it before. She was free though, or was she through their Primo
She was
currency?
free.
Okay.
Yeah, so she has constellations that will never do anything
Oh. Oh, I see.
because you can't get dupes because you only got the zero.
And yeah, Cygames has been bitten by the characters only available once thing before. Um, at least for the premium thing. That was the Cinderella Girls like seasonal things that they weren't able to bring back for years, or at least they
Because they
didn't bring back.
mess up the banner naming stuff.
That's what people think at least, but it took many many years for those hot spring characters, I believe, to come back. Um, and then like Cygames has done a lot of good faith work to get characters back into side stories. Like they had to make big changes to the collabs in order to get a lot of these non Granblue characters in. So it's like uh, Persona 5 is not permanent. They did rerun it, but they had to remove Persona 5 music. They did the same thing with Cardcaptor Sakura, but they had to remove Cardcaptor Sakura music. And so this is the only list of collab characters that you can always get. So we've got 6 Love Live characters, we've got 3 Princess Connect characters, 3 Side M. It's 3 characters for Code Geass. Is it just 2 for Shadowverse? Arisa and Luna?
Arisa and Luna.
So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 17, and then 2 of the Two Tails collabs. So out of those 80 some collab characters that we listed off, there are about, what, 20-ish that are available permanently? And a few of them have rerun once, and a lot of them have rerun never. And so that's a legitimate concern as well. And so I am very curious to see how that is implemented. Like, that is a huge series of pitfalls because I'm just looking at like the characters here who've been rerun. So it's like uh I know people who just don't have Chun-Li and will never have Chun-Li until they manage to get Street Fighter back. They did rerun that one though. There was a Street Fighter 4 into a Street Fighter 5 one.
Yeah,
This is
but
one
when Street
rerun.
Fighter 5 came out, which was like
Yeah,
2016.
a long time ago. Um Slayers has never come back. So that's never happening again apparently.
Also tied to the United Fight during that time.
Yeah, long may that one rot. Uh So they did bring the Cinderella Girls back multiple times.
Well,
So
that's their own IP, so.
kind of. It's co-owned, which makes things messy, right?
Well, yes,
Um,
but still,
yeah,
Cygames has a hand in it, unlike all these other things you've listed.
right. Sakura Taisen has never come back. That was a one-time thing. Tails did come back multiple times. Well, or is it just the once? I forget.
I'm pretty sure it's the once.
Yeah, it did come back. But also these are inside stories, so Sam Show is not coming back anytime soon. It seems like. Shadowverse is permanent. We got some more Cinderella Girls. Took and Ranbu's never come back. Cardcaptor Sakura came back once, but it also had to be stripped of a bunch of things. Like all of these things that we're listing off, they'll have to do some kind of tightrope walking to either get them back or like do good by the players, right? Like this is not a very player friendly choice unless they do some very very like generous rerunning.
And
Um,
not
yep.
only that, so like let's go to like the more recent characters, for example.
Mhm.
Well, A, they have a rerun because they're either too recent or et cetera, et cetera. But B, they are pretty good, like
Mhm.
as they are,
Yeah,
right?
Prish is strong. Luffy's great. Like frankly great. Nami and Robin are strong. Pom Pom Purin and Cinnamon Roll are so strong. Uh, Nobara and Maki are both good. This one's very good. Bakugo's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, like each of these are like we're at the point where like in order for like co-op characters to exist, they have to be at least good
Mhm.
nowadays, right?
Right.
And so what happens with these gotcha characters? What if we make them too good?
So this is another bit of the tightrope here, and this is a tightrope that they always have to do, but it's very very much in focus for collab characters who are available for a limited time. So if they're too strong, then they're only available once, and people will complain because. But KMR said said is a key word here. He tried to assure people that this is going to be uh, a so there's a Japanese slang term for this where they call it a human rights character, where it's like you don't have rights unless you have that character. In Princess Connect, for example, they call like Nenica, Eris, a few of those like glue characters that are just in every team that you look at. They call them human rights characters. You don't have the right to play the game unless you have those characters. GBF doesn't really have those in the same way. Like, there are characters that you do see everywhere, yes, but every single piece of content in the game has been done with free characters, right? Like characters that you don't have to go into this gotcha screen for. Like, and so the worry is not that they will be human rights characters, but at least not for Unite and Fight. But what if they're like really strong in a different axis that makes them better at one of the many other things that you do in Granblue Fantasy?
Yeah, the part where it got to me was like when the United fight was mentioned, I'm like, this is not the only thing you do in this game.
Right. Because it's like we go back to the tie-in character list, right? And it's like Bakugo is actually legitimately good for doing things like farming for gold bricks.
He auto nukes.
Yeah,
It's a big nuke too.
yeah.
Like,
Luffy
and he's in
and
fire, so
yeah,
he gets the attack out of turn because Percival exists.
yeah. But like Luffy and the Shinsengumi over here, um, if you're just getting into the Ennead tier, these two actually are very good at the Ennead tier, for example, and so they can give you a leg up on getting to a next level of content. Luffy's also good at things like, um, our car armors, things like that. They're good in those contexts. They're not required, but a lot of these characters like Prish was amazing at Unite and Fight. Um, and so like these characters were very good bridges for new players. Um,
I don't know. My thing for Unify is can this person auto dispel?
mhm.
Like the Unify is actually just been too ridiculous that
Prish
auto
can.
dispelling's like too.
Yeah,
It's just way too good.
yeah. But and so the other part of the tightrope though is what if they stink? What if they're just not useful for anything?
Then the other side of the complaint is like, why am I even rolling for these characters?
Right. And so the part where they replaced the mid-December character release is a concern. Um, let me
You
ch-
mean November?
Yeah, sorry, mid-November. What did I say? December?
You said December.
Yeah, that would be a bad one to replace. That's Christmas. That's when
That's
they
definitely
make a lot of their money.
definitely a big one.
Yeah, but for example, um, let's take a look at what they've released in the middle of November previously. So last November, Flash Gala had Gabriel. It's like, okay, they can move Gabriel. But then on the other side, it had um, Barawa and Saria as one of them, who are fun, but
Not game determinative.
yeah, not any. They're not needed for any. They're not like particularly good at any kind of content. They're just really fun. And so they're for enthusiasts. And then Velena, who, quite frankly, people forgot she exists. You know, I don't even remember what her weapon specialty is. It sword? Do I even have Velena?
I don't think you have. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what's getting replaced here. Uh, a limited character, and the timing of limited characters can be moved around a little bit. That's whatever. And then two characters that one character is for fun and definitely fun. The other character I've already forgotten about. Mid-November in 2022 was Adam, who is actually good.
He's actually kind of good.
Yeah.
He's not,
Uh,
but he's not. Once again, he's not gonna break anything because well, he's Earth defensive, right?
yeah.
Sarah
And then
exists.
and then Wind Therese, who is fun, but is also, she doesn't do anything that other characters who are more readily available or just as readily available can't do. Like, and so that's the banner that's getting replaced. There's some very forgettable releases in there. Let's see here. I'll go back one more year. It's Lighter Rulumea, who's legitimately good, and Benjamin, who's also legitimately good.
I think the year before that was was Diantha.
Earth Diantha?
I'm
Oh
pretty sure.
man.
It was definitely in the autumn season for Diantha, and I think Gold Knights. They were the same.
Uh,
I know they were the same banner.
Mid-November was mid. Oh, this is 2019. I went too far. I went back too far. 2020 November. It was Feather and Fiorito. So that one was the
Oh,
introduction to the Marionette Stars.
that was setting up for that, and
Yeah,
also those characters were kind of good.
those characters are still good. In fact, Feather's getting a rebalance soon. Even which is
Why does like some of those characters on that rebalance list need a rebalance?
right. Like I actually
I
used
saw
Feather recently.
Randall, and I'm like, why does Randall need a rebalance? He already does 1 billion damage on turn two.
Yeah, and Feather does a bunch of damage on turn one. Like, I legitimately used him to clear the latest Pride of the Ascendant on Proud Plus. He was really good at it. So anyway, and it's going to be a very scary tightrope that Cygames is going to have to walk with these releases. Um, and so when Choreogra comes out in 2 days, I'm going to see if they are going to elaborate any further on their plans for this Ten Slime release because it is the topic that people are talking about.
And not in a very positive way either.
No. So,
Like
what I
there's a lot of pushback from like many different parts of the community.
right. And so the one that I am going to speculate on, and this is from the experience of a user experience researcher who does specialties in like new player onboarding and things like that. So why now, right?
You better give like people 300 rolls because a new player is not going to be having able to roll for those characters.
So this is the thing though. So GBF has been working on their new player experience for a long time. And there's two things that I think that they were waiting on before they tried this. So number one, so you mentioned the 300 rolls thing. So new players get 100 rolls for free as a reminder, not even counting their free 10 roll that gives them one of the basic six, right? The like what is it? Delafi in light, Charlotta in water, etc., right? Those guaranteed SSRs come from that.
There's a picture panels incorrectly.
What was that?
Those are mission panels, if I remember correctly, for that one.
Um, yeah. You also have the new thing. So the free 100 rolls that you get are part of the new player experience because you remember that we have um, the progressive gotcha where the first 100 rolls are free, and then it just sticks around in here. We don't have, well, I don't have it anymore because I sparked on it, but the next like rolls
They're
101 through
discounted.
200. What was that?
They're
Are
discounted, aren't they?
they're hugely discounted, and then 201 to 300 are also discounted.
However, that is a different banner than what we're talking about, though.
That is true. And then the other thing that also exists is I don't have it on here, but the Sierra Academy, which also just showers you with new things. So they've been working really hard on the new player funnel, right? And collabs are a great way to get people who are mildly interested in GBF to boot up the game and log in and try. And what collabs have done for years and years and years is people will be like, oh, what do I need to do to get these characters? Because, you know, every other game we have to roll for it. And people will tell them, oh, it's free.
However, we
So
can't say that anymore.
two of them are going to be free now. The thing is that this is something about the new player funnel where when someone comes into Granblue Fantasy and is new, and they're 10 Slime fans, they will now have something advertising to them that 10 Slime characters are in the draw for them to use rolls on, some of the rolls that they're earning. And so, with the improved new player funnel where they're given so much GBF stuff, this is something that is going to try and hook them through the IP that they are coming in for. Um, this is once again this is speculation and based on just a professional opinion, but not a corporate opinion, right? It's not Cygames Corporate. It's just me talking about new player experience. Like they've improved the new player experience immensely in these last 4 years. You get showered in stuff, but also you get taught how to play the game in a way better way than they've done ever. Does this justify what they're doing? I don't think so. Does it affect you and me, DJ? Um,
We'll find out how these characters work.
yeah, I don't.
That part is important on
Yes,
this other thing, especially
yes.
since this is what, November, right?
It's in November, so it's
That affects the fun spark for December then.
yeah, that's 3.5 months from now. Um, but yeah, so it is a legitimate concern, and there's no sugarcoating that part. There is only them trying to explain it, and if it's received badly enough, and if that new player funnel doesn't work the way that they're hoping to, I mean, GBF has made plenty of announcements they then had to go back on, right? Um, there was once again, we mentioned Korwa and Ayer and Halasena being limited. There used to, at one point, they were like, we're thinking about a way to use gold bricks that isn't just uncapping things. And people are like, no, don't do this. I'm like, okay, they listened, right? Like, Cygames is not an unreasonable company when it comes to these things. That said, this tightrope is going to be real tricky for them. And uh, I know that this decision wasn't made lightly on their end, but, the player base will decide whether it was worth it or not. And their side will also have to figure out if it was worth it or not.
Hmm.
Um, Anything else to say about this? I think we went over all of our talking points, but if there's anything else, this is the perfect time to talk about it.
Let's see here. What was in my notes? It's really hard, like doing a fine line about character balance in this game because you
Mm-hmm.
only have 5 slots, and three of them are active
Yeah.
at the very beginning, turn 0, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it's like It's so weird with this game because of this limitation.
Hmm. Yeah. Like the concerns are legitimate. You know, there's like no denying that. And once again, it's up to their skill as designers and as developers to navigate. You know, and if they navigate it poorly, then it's up to them to fix course. Um, the but you know the immediate dooming is not something that I will partake of or partake in. But you know, concern is concern. Like this game's been doing things a certain way for a long time. This is 10 years of giving stuff out for free, and you know now that they've improved the new player experience a lot, we'll see if this does their probably internal goal of turning more new players into entrenched and paying players. Um, but yeah, the last thing that we were going to talk about is the Unite and Fight part because they announced that they are increasing HP totals. We've gone through a cycle of 6. Last year they addressed this like, oh yeah, we're not raising HP totals for this cycle. We'll look at it next cycle. Well, that cycle is done. They've gone through
Yeah,
6
we're
Unite and
here
Fights,
now.
and here we are. So the HP totals that they gave us are that uh, as of the next Unite and Fight in September, um, regular EX is going to have more HP. It'll go up to 20 million. Um, and then after that, the EX Plus is going to 35 million HP. And as a note, both of these HP increases are listed as coming with a significant increase in the amount of meat that they drop. Uh, so the words that they used for EX Plus in particular were greatly increased. Um, and then the last thing that they gave us numbers for, the rest of them are going to be increased as well. But the last one that they gave us numbers for, so people can start doing their testing, was Nightmare 90 is going to have 50 million HP, but they are also increasing the celestial drop rate for those. Um, do you have immediate thoughts on this?
I don't like the fact that the top end didn't have to change anything, but the slightly under top end has to.
So the very top end has been posting their testing where, so we're going to have Earth favored. Um, and so the top end have gone from just summoning 000 to pressing 2 buttons or like a summon and a button or something like that.
I was talking about meat farming.
Right, that's for meat farming. What I've
Uh,
seen mostly is tag team setups.
I've seen
So
it without tag team.
you've seen it without you just saw it with the attack.
Yeah, attack with runting.
Um,
That hits
the ones that I
35
saw
million.
still hit a button, so it is still like a bit slower, but I understand. Um, the attack with fronting ones are actually slightly slower than the tag team ones because of how the game parses a full party attack or the pushing the attack button versus pushing a skill. That said, that is like a difference of a second. Well, a couple of seconds in certain cases. Um, for most people below the hunting level or the
It's
like
I
folia
have
and
I have the
well
000,
the 000 and attack one I
which
sh
is including the you have to wait for a 000 animation to finish as best as you can.
well the other thing is that the tag team one uses like folia and also a very very strong grid. I think Magna can do it though with Magna 3. Um but that's for the entrenched up at the top. For uh the lower end, it'll be very close to what we were doing for Nightmare 90, which was about 10 seconds. Uh, it once again goes into like how much we're going to need to do for the same amount of meat as before. Because like before, it was like a 3 second or so EX plus for those of us who could uh 000 summon. Um, Now it'll go up to about what 10-ish seconds, 8 to 10 seconds. So if they quadruple the drop rate, which is in the realm of possibility, they've done that before. They've when they say significantly increase the amount of meat that things drop, you know it's a lot. Um, then yeah, we'll see. Once again, um, the thing that interests me is the addition of Nightmare 250, because that one, they have said explicitly, will not use meat directly. It will
Yeah,
use
you have
something
to
that
use
drops.
something you get from 200.
Right. And so you cannot pre-farm for that one in the same way. And so this is once again them trying to put a little bit more of a release valve on meat farming day, because I mean, we've said this before, meat farming day is the worst day. So they're trying to have us spend less time farming meat. And I don't know if it'll work. Uh the last time they did this, I did spend a lot less time farming meat last time they did this because of the increase to like the golden tyrant and all the other things like that. But also, we'll start using less meat because a lot of us on day 4 will stop using meat and we'll use Nightmare 250s, right? We'll see. There's a
It
lot of things up in the air.
depends.
Yeah.
Like I'm
So,
still gonna go ram my face into 90s.
and hopefully that'll be more fruitful, right? Like with an increased celestial weapon drop rate, the hope is that we'll have to do less of it. In general, we're hoping to just do less of Unite and Fight, right? That's always the hope.
I'm just tired of these bosses literally putting a billion buffs on them and a billion debuffs on me. That's not going to change. I already know that. I'm not hopeful about that part.
Well, the
But
that's the joy of Nightmare 90, right? You just skip that part. You you set it up so that you like go just short of the big trigger on one turn if you're doing it in over 2 turns, or you just kill it, you know, by pressing a bunch of buttons and then you come
yeah,
back to it and
but
you do it again.
they're adding 250. That's the issue.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see.
I'm glad I don't rank. If I play this game ranking, I would quit this game.
Yeah. I mean, I only what I do is I do like almost exactly 79,000th place is where I try to aim every time. That's very different from ranking. Um, but yeah, like for the people like us, the changes I am hopeful will have us spending less time farming meat and it'll distribute the time a lot better because we've talked about this before where it's like um I enjoy the last days of Unite and Fight a lot more because they're much more fire and forget. Uh, with the addition of celestial weapons, they discouraged people from doing Nightmare 150 and 200, which hopefully they've taken into account, and this is the adjustment. They've said out loud the drop rate on celestial weapons is gonna go up. So we'll see how that all plays out. You're not as hopeful as I am, it sounds like.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. We look at this differently. And those were the three big worries that came out of the summer stream. Anything else that we should talk about before we go into Thursday with like the more fun stuff that got announced?
I can't wait to go to Princess Connect Fest because it's the only time I'm going to see KMR again.
Oh, but you get to see KMR trying to romance. Isn't that going to be exciting? Or is it,
I
he's
do.
only done that once though.
He only did that once. It was for one of the challenge is
Oh yeah, and it was for one of the
it,
COVID Princess Connect fests too, wasn't it? So there was
it
no
was.
audience. Curses.
Granted, I think most of Risk Fest stuff is actually like the stream
Remote.
is actually still remote.
Oh yeah, they do it from a studio. That's right.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
like the main fest itself is in that one area in Akiba, and you
Oh
have time
yeah,
slots.
that's right. Because it's basically like, have you been to that Princess Connect Fest? I think it's kind of like a.
Nope,
It's
because I failed to get tickets. Remember, I was
yeah,
in you looked at me in the room as I was trying to get the tickets, and they sold out immediately.
that's right. No, but because I remember seeing the floor layout, and it seems sort of like a very guided experience, kind of like haunted house style, in that like a festival haunted house, you go through like a bunch of winding corridors and things like that, but it's a very linear experience. So that's what the layout of Princess Connect Fest looked to me like the last time I looked at it. But yeah, scary stuff, very concerning stuff, and well, it's up to Cygames now. It's in Cygames and the new producer's hands. Like some people were saying, it's like we trusted KMR with a lot of these decisions. I mean, he made some decisions that we didn't agree with, but he was always there to take the punishment. And now we don't know what's going to happen because so, the one way that I heard it stated was like he's leaving this ticking time bomb in the hands of the new person.
Well, this person has been having a hand in Granblue
Yeah,
in a while. We just don't know who they are.
right. We don't know who they are yet. We'll find out. Maybe we'll find out as soon as the choreogra that comes out in 2 days because uh, previously, for many, many years, choreogra was written by the hand of the producer, or at least credited to the producer. And so, if this is his last choreogra as producer for KMR, then uh, bravo to him. If we find out the name of the new producer, then well, good luck to them because they have a very hot situation coming in officially. Once again, like re-emphasize that the last 3 years, this person has been quietly acting as producer with support from KMR rather than the other way around. But yeah,
Now we'll find out.
we will. In the
I'm just
meantime,
gonna I'm just gonna miss. I still remember at Granblue Fest this year or last
mhm.
year rather, where I shouted to KMR, "I love you," and then the girl next to me says, "Yuito-kun." Yeah,
uh,
that crowd was great.
man. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like whether or not you agreed with everything KMR did, he was there, right? He was always there. Like every game producer is the focal point of uh like every decision, right? And he was there for all of them. Um and we're entering a new era. It's a new time. With that, like I said, we'll
Yep.
have choreogra in a couple days.
We have an actual radio on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll be uh we'll be most likely talking about Ragazzo and Hecate. Like some people were scared of like uh the summer characters coming out and things like that. It's like, can you imagine giving a non-fire element Ragazzo just 2 turns and then poof, here's your evoker? That's scary
I
too.
mean, that one's guaranteed. The difference is this is guaranteed.
Yeah.
You could technically do everything with Earth Rock'em.
True. Very true.
Yeah, however, that requires the boss actually hitting Rock'em right
Yeah.
afterwards.
You can also do it with characters like well, Pengi freaking takes like 5 turns to do it or something.
Yeah, because she
Uh
needs to spend all of her P power,
yeah. But
and then she kills herself
yeah.
after like another couple turns after running out. You also have to
Yeah.
make sure you don't hit skill 3
Yeah.
appropriately.
And then it's like, yeah, Ragazzo is the fastest, most like blaze of glory way to do it. And so it's like imagine freaking water Ragazzo or earth Ragazzo. That's gonna be silly. But we'll find out. We'll see what they do with him. But yeah, we also have the fish outfit coming. That'll be fun.
It's literally just a swimsuit outfit, but with fish.
But you're riding a fish. That changes everything.
But will it still be voiced?
I don't think it will be.
I'm gonna keep my old outfit then.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Anyway, DJ, thanks for joining me. in before sudden Neptune Grand in a few days. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for coming, everybody. I know this is a scary time, but well, we got a few months to figure things out, and we've got a whole lot more reading to do before any decisions have been finalized. So, with that,
Until then.